Yo, what's going on with Ghost here? Today I am bringing you guys another comparison video between the Milano and PPSH. Now to be honest, saying those words makes me feel super weird because I would have never thought that I would be making a comparison video on the Milano. But obviously with the Season 4 update, the Milano received a huge buff, making it one of the best SMGs in the game. And I've been seeing it used a lot more frequently, and I personally have been using it a lot more frequently, and that's crazy. But right now, to be honest, I'm not really sure what the true SMG meta is. I can't really give you a definitive #1 SMG, but I believe that the PPSH and Milano are two contenders for that #1 spot. Yeah, we're just gonna get into the comparison. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 2,000. We just hit 1.76K, so I'm thankful for that. Also, if you could do me a favor of dropping a follow on my Twitch, we're about 10 away from 200. Always push underscore. That would be greatly appreciated. Good to go. But yeah, man, with that being said, let's get into the comparison. And then we have the recoil pattern for the Milano, which as you can see, not too crazy, very low recoil. And this reason right here makes it so you don't even need to use an underbarrel, which was actually advised of me in my last Milano video. People told me to get rid of the underbarrel and put on the stock or even the rear grip, and I listened to that because in truth this gun does not need that extra recoil control. A matter of fact, I would definitely recommend you putting on a stock or a rear grip because again, like, this recoil is not that crazy, and with its moderate to low fire rate, it's not like this gun's gonna get uncontrollable. Like, it's very solid, very easy for range, all that. And I don't know, I think you would just be better off making it faster. And to be honest, this weapon, I think the best characteristic of it is the mobility aspect, because this gun is, in my opinion, the smoothest, or maybe not the smoothest, but one of the smoothest weapon in the game in terms of movement and mobility. I always wanted to use this weapon ever since it came out because of that same reason. It's just, the gun is just amazing. Like, slide canceling, running with it, it's just fast. It's amazing. Like, it's just so mobile, and I just love those type of weapons because I feel like I'm gliding on air. And with the Raider stock, the strafe, makes this gun really good. But to be honest, maybe you could run a different stock to make it even faster in mobility. I'm not even entirely sure what stock I would use if it wasn't the Raider stock. So I'm not even sure if the Raider stock makes the mobility the fastest in terms of the stocks. So if you guys could let me know what the fastest stock is. I mean, if it is a Raider stock, then I'm doing it good. But if it's not, I might consider changing it because you can never be, you know what I'm saying? I want this gun to be max speed, bro. If I can make this gun max speed, I'm gonna be very happy. But yeah, man, this gun, bro, like, I'm just kind of mind boggled that here in Season 4, I'm talking about the Milano as it's one of the best SMGs in the game, when just a season ago, or even a few weeks ago, it was one of the worst in the game. If you guys remember, I believe Jay got made a video a long time back where he ranked all the weapons in terms of damage, or was it time to kill? I don't remember what specific stat it was, but the Milano ended up ranking the lowest, or the weakest, I guess, in comparison to like all the colder weapons, and that was just an insane stat to me because an SMG was gonna get outgunned by other guns that weren't that suitable for close range, and I don't know, man. But now we've came a long way. It's completely glowed up, and the Milano, I guess, right now is arguably top 3 in the game in terms of secondaries. And to be honest, as an SMG, I have no problem calling it easily a top 2 along with the PPSH. Because, like, the LC10 is good, but I haven't heard that much people talk about the LC10. And I'm probably guaranteeing that most people would prefer the PPSH or Milano over the LC10. Me personally, I haven't used the LC10 in the season, but I've been loving the way that Milano and PPSH feels. And I really don't see that many SMGs being able to, I guess, surpass it. I can see all of them being close to them or even at their level, but very few SMGs, if any SMG, is going to be able to completely surpass any of these weapons. I know I've been seeing a lot of Cold War MP5 recently, but that I think has its like specifications. Like, I don't think anyone could just run that SMG. I don't think that's more of a PC gun or a controller gun. I'm not entirely sure, one of the two. But yeah, I know Milano and PPSH, man, right now I think universally the top 2 SMGs and top 3 secondaries, because I still think the XM4 is probably the best secondary in the game, especially with its newest buff. And I really don't see how a Milano or PPSH could beat that gun in any range. But we're not talking about the XM4. We're talking about PPSH and Milano. And in terms of SMGs, definitely 1 and 2. I think you can interchange which one. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you which one is the best because I love both of them. Like, literally, these are the 2 main SMGs for me right now, and I really can't put one over the other. I'm just gonna say they're undeniably 1 and 2. You can argue about the order, but yeah, man. With that being said, let's get into the PPSH. And then we have the recoil pattern for the PPSH, which, as you can see, a complete difference to the Milano. And although I would argue that this gun doesn't have too much recoil at range, that's when it starts getting kind of crazy. And in comparison to the Milano, this gun at range isn't that much of a threat to a Milano. And to be honest, I think a Milano could easily be used as like a great sniper support because of an SMG. And it actually reminds me of MP7. A slightly toned, not slightly, definitely a toned down version of the MP7, because, you know, if you guys remember MP7 back in the day, that gun was literally just monster at every range. It was literally an AR, sniper, and SMG all in one gun. The gun was insane. And the Milano, I think at this point, is probably one of the closest things that we have to the old MP7. Obviously toned down, but you know, it is what it is. But the PPSH, man, this is a true secondary, bro. This gun, oh man, ever since I got the class setup that you guys saw a few seconds ago or a minute ago, that class setup, man, completely changed my life. Because I've always, ever since it's come out, the PPSH, I've always kind of struggled with the class setup, and no class setup ever felt right to me. And I don't know why. It just, the gun never felt right. I even had a sight on it for the first week it was out. I had a sight on it, and I was like, I swore like that was the way to go. And obviously it wasn't, and I'm past my sight ways. But man, it took a while for me to get accustomed to the PPSH. And even when it received its 2 buffs, it still took some time to for me to actually use it. But now that I've used it for quite some time, this is one of my more reliable SMGs. And you can't forget about the nostalgia factor, man. Like, being able to run around with the PPSH in COD 2021 is just something crazy. And it being one of the top tier guns in the game, like, that just adds on to it. But again, man, this PPSH, bro, like, this thing packs a punch. And with this fast fire rate and 71 round bullets, like, I think the Milano is good and it's very powerful. But like the PPSH, when it comes to multiple people, I think I would want my PPSH over the Milano. I mean, again, we have 71 bullets. That's already like a 16 bullet difference to the PPSH. Granted, the PPSH runs through ammo kind of quickly because of its fast fire rate, but the damage and all that, just like, I feel more comfortable being able to maneuver through a 4-man team than a Milano. I feel like with the Milano, like, if you really get caught up, you might be able to get through people. Obviously, though, like, in a perfect scenario, you probably could wipe out a full team with the amount of bullets given for both the weapons. But under normal circumstances, I would probably lean towards the PPSH. Like, I feel like a lot of things like, the PPSH, for me, just close quarter combat, I would definitely use it over the Milano. That's not to say that the Milano is, like, overwhelmingly bad at close range, because it definitely will compete with the PPSH. But I just feel like the PPSH is a lot more suited for close range, even though, you know, they're both SMGs. But like the Milano thing is a more all-around weapon for range, while the PPSH is more like a close to somewhat mid-range, where I think the Milano is close, mid-range, and even long-range. The weapon is just a beamer, and I think it takes away from its close-range abilities, but overall it has a more of a range variety, which is good. I love this type of SMGs because, again, my SMG game goes farther than the close range. I love using SMGs as like a mid to long range weapon occasionally. Obviously, I'm not sitting here challenging everybody with my SMG at long range, but you know, I do find myself pretty often in engagements where I pull out my SMG at just weird ranges to challenge ARs. I don't know why I have it in me, but I just do it all the time, and it's a bad habit because I do die a lot. But I do get a lot of kills if my SMG is popping at that range. But again, man, both these weapons, though, very solid. I'm actually I'm just like mind blown that here I am talking about the Milano PPSH as kings of the SMG category. When, like a few weeks ago, we had the LC10, Bullfrog, like, the metas, man, it's just getting crazy. And even like a year ago, we were using MP5s. Like, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just insane to me how far this Warzone just scene has changed in terms of weapon usage. And, like, man, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely crazy to see. And I actually can't wait to see, like, what's going to happen even in, like, the next few weeks or even in the next season. Like, man, who knows what kind of meta is going to be getting. Hell, the KSP might be meta one day. You never know, man. If they make the proper changes to it, you never know. We might have a KSP meta or... man, I don't even know. Just a lot of changes have been happening. Things have been changing, and it's been a wild ride. But it's been a fun ride, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, that's kind of a lie. Like, it's been a fun ride being able to use a lot of different weapons, but Warzone for me right now hasn't been, the best. I won't even cap. I don't really be having fun on Warzone sometimes, but being able to use different weapons, that's dope. And that actually allows me to not completely lose my mind. If I was stuck using the same meta in the current way I play Warzone, I could not see myself play Warzone. But thankfully, the variety helps it ease the pain a little bit. And I know I got a little sidetracked there, so I apologize for that. But, man, with that being said, let me know what you guys think about the PPSH and Milano. Do you guys agree with my statement of them being unarguably 1 and 2 of the SMG category? Yeah, man, thanks for watching. See you guys later. I'm out. Peace.